But
We can wait, but I just want to start the recording so we talk about things.
okay.
Okay.
The recording?
Mhm.
Technology committee.
It was the first one. I had such hope when we installed this.
So yeah, we discussed, that's what that's what everybody's giving me is price range over time. We'll discuss more about that.
I mean, yeah,
That's
about
that
what
localized
I've been
budget is
doing,
right?
about like 7,000-8,000 for a set. Much.
Hello. Hey. How you doing?
How you guys? How's it going? Good.
I mean, you can sit here, you can sit wherever you like, my man.
Yeah, no, there's some. Okay. All right.
Yeah, the only reason I'm sitting here is because I'm not part of the committee. I'm not the liaison, either liaison.
Is that Brian?
Yeah, Brian's not.
Yeah, Brian.
All right, now we'll shut the door.
Thank you, sir. Thanks. Once I get an update on maintenance, I will present it, not. Questions, so I'll try and come.
Sir. All right, well, today is Tuesday, October 17th, 4:00. Dog Park Committee meeting. And looks like we have a quorum. Excellent. So I'll make a motion call to order.
Second?
Second. All in favor?
Yep.
Aye.
Yeah. Aye.
And make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right. So first thing would be, meeting minutes. Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns on meeting minutes? Now, the meeting minutes for the last meeting were, we did not have quorum, so it was just, more of a general discussion. I don't see anything in there. I mean, we're gonna talk about some repeat stuff from the last meeting anyway, so meeting minutes look fine to me, so make a motion to approve the meeting minutes. All in favor? Aye. Perfect. All right, so we'll skip over maintenance for now. You're waiting on an update from Ryan.
Yes.
Okay. So future enhancements, there's gonna be a packet in there that you all have. So it's showing what Danny and I have been looking at as far as agility equipment for the parks. This is.
So- So.
Yeah, I think it would be fun. It's obviously expensive. But from what I have gathered, you know, the pictures on this don't really do it justice, but these are very well made things. And have proper coatings, you know, non-slip coatings. They're not gonna splinter and things like that for the dogs. So these are, you know, like those hard, almost like rubber coatings on the outside of them for the dogs to, at least the ones that I've seen. Yeah. So it looks like they're worth it and they will last a long time, especially if they're taken care of. You know, if they can be incorporated in with maintenance. We just have to decide on what is going inside of the park. So,
Can I ask you a question about this one?
yeah,
What is that?
so that is a training stand basically. So what you would do is you put your dog up on that and you'd be able to you can train with like stays and lay downs and things like that. So
Is there a concern of nails getting stuck in the holes? I mean, I know it's a
Potentially.
company that makes this.
yeah, you know, I don't think the pictures do it too much justice. They're probably quite small. But hey, that's a question for their customer service when we call, honestly. Anything else? Let's write that down.
You know, you think some of these would be more proposed than others?
Oh, definitely, yeah. And you know, the websites that I've found have kind of like starter packages, which are kind of like this right here on the back. The Practice Sports one.
Yeah, that's.
And I've seen ones that just kind of come with the basics. So yeah, like this park catalog here. So you get, you know, the hoops and the ramps and the tunnels. You know, the platforms I might even forego, you know, I don't think anyone's gonna probably use us. It's gonna be the exciting ones, like people are gonna want,
This one looks good.
but people are gonna want that,
Yeah.
you know, they're gonna want the tunnels and.
I think this one even,
They're gonna want they're gonna want that, they're gonna want the hoops and things like that.
and then possibly one tunnel. I think that would be a great beginning.
Absolutely, yeah. So, and then, you know, but certain ones might be better suited for the small dog park versus the big dog park. You know, small dog might be afraid of these bigger ramps, but the 3-tiered ramps. You know, they want you know, these elevated hoops here and a tunnel or something like that. Whereas the big dog park, you know, those aren't gonna be maybe necessarily as intimidating to the larger dogs. So it really just comes down to everyone's opinion on what, you know, what we should spend. I think number one, we should put kind of like a limit on what we want to spend on it, and then what we want to see on both, you know, both sides of the park. So I think 3 pieces each to start on.
I agree. I don't want to take up too much space.
Yeah, and so speaking of that, in the large dog park, I thought this could go out at the far end where nothing really happens. And for 9 months out of the year, the dogs don't want to go to because it's hot and they have their area. And I think it can help twofold. One, it's gonna distract dogs from getting into trouble with other dogs because their owners can interact with them on this level, you know, enrichment basically. And also, you know, it's gonna get the dogs away from that area where we have such a problem with the sod that, you know, they can run in different areas of the park and give that other area time to.
And it also encourage owners to stay with their dogs longer. Because really, the owner's gonna have to be with them to get you, introduce them to us. So that's
The dog is not just gonna run up this ramp, but they're just not, they don't. So you have to kind of show them, so.
So this, just asking logistically, this is
Yeah.
$4,000.
Yeah,
And then there's the cost associated with concrete and all that work, but we can do that all in-house. We'll need to hire someone.
I'm pretty sure we're going to be hiring someone.
Okay.
so that's why I think things like that are more suited to what we need. Now, I've seen ones that give you 6 or 7 pieces for about 7,000. And then we can take those and split them between, and then there you go.
Make sure the quality.
Of course, yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
The last one that I sent you guys, this is one that they were telling me, this is how much this would be, but we could split. We can split.
yeah, they can itemize it.
They can itemize it to whatever we.
You know, we can say, well, we don't need the platform, you know, we don't need the steps there or something. We just want these, you know, these 4 things and then add on 2 tunnels instead or something and do it that way. And then, you know, the costs associated to, you know, the concrete work, you know, that's gonna be something that we'll need through Brian, correct? Yeah, so we're gonna vote on that. So that's my thought. I think, you know, really it's just important to set how much we want to spend here. I mean, I think it was $19,035, something like that.
$19,016.75, I believe that was.
Yeah, so,
last count.
so we could certainly spend $10,000 on this if we want to. I mean, I think it's a good investment. I think it'll last a long time.
And people have to understand, it's not gonna be immediate, but the dogs will eventually get used to it.
Absolutely. And I can tell you from personal experience, having a dog that will do these things, having been to parks, and having a dog do these things, they love it. They get so excited when they finally figure it out
Yeah.
and do it, you know, the long tunnel. You know, I've been through the long tunnels too, and they love those. Once they realize it's not scary, it's, you know, they're having a blast.
Plus, some of these larger pieces actually offer some shade, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You're gonna see dogs laying under here, 100%, so. And it'll just use up more of the park instead of, you know, a third of it just kind of sitting there. When people occasionally go down and, you know, wash their dog off or something at the hose.
Do you want any kind of a motion here, or you just want to table until more investigation?
So I just wanted, because we never really discussed how we wanted to proceed. We don't know what we want, what kind of equipment we're looking for. This is just something to introduce you guys.
Yeah.
This is what I've been seeing, and this is what, I'm pretty sure Taylor, you said you saw the same item.
Yeah.
Are we looking for these type of items, or are we looking for something smaller? Then once we start saying, yes, I think the dog park, we should have this hoop, the small, we should have this, then I can start asking the companies that I got this information from, how much is this? And do we get a discount if we do it in bulk, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
But this
so-
is pretty much showing you guys, this is what I found, this is the quotes I'm getting from, 3 vendors. We do have to look into the cost of actual installation. None of these vendors do, include installation, but some do have their recommendations of vendors here in town, so.
I think personally it should be 2 ramps, 2 tunnels and 2 sets of rings. So it'd be, so 6 things, 3 for each side to get started, see how that goes. If everyone loves it, we can always add stuff in the future. The only other thing that I can think of that we would need our funds for, or I'm getting requests of new chairs in the big dog park. The other ones are just falling apart. So I would like to get that. That is something that I would like to make a motion for today to get a quote on. Okay, chairs.
What is the last one, please?
Rings.
Where?
These right here.
Rings.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's good because then neither side will be able to say, well, they have this over there and we don't have that.
Exactly. Just do the exact same things on each side.
Yeah.
And just scale it. We could do something like this bigger 3-tiered ramp. We can do that at the big dog park, and then, do something like the
Smaller one.
the B1. We can do that at the Baldwin park.
Vertical rings or big
Yeah,
dog
right,
park.
yeah, exactly. But a Great Dane is not, gonna care to jump through a ring that's 6 inch stuff.
So basically, in order to keeping in mind the size of the dogs to be used,
Definitely. Yeah, I would like to do that.
so you want a motion on that? Do you
Um,
think you need one, or you want to wait till
I
it's
think,
more?
yeah, let's wait.
So you want to
Let's,
table it?
let's have an actual meeting about,
I think next month, because let's focus on making sure these workshops go off this month. And then next month, start tackling that, because I know that we also talked about wanting to do another event. And obviously it costs money, so.
Do you know what material they use in these objects? Plastic or?
So it's a plastic, but it's a very,
Commercial.
it's commercial. It's very strong plastic, yeah. It's kind of like the same plastic you're gonna find at a kid's park,
Mhm.
on a playground. It's that type of stuff where you're not,
High quality.
yeah, you can stand on it and jump on it. You're not breaking it, so.
Yeah, I would tell you to go to a playground, and look at it, but it's not finished, so you can't go there. It's pretty good.
But yes, it's so, as long as we get it from the right company, that's what it'll be, and that'll be the key. Yes, sir. Though, and I think, Melania might be a good resource for that. Just ask, if we're not going through the AKC stuff, is there a company that you recommend that you've seen before, or that you've worked with dogs on? And go from there. Cool. Brian,
oh, did you want to do the motion for, the chairs? Do a vote?
yeah. So, how many do we think we need for those?
Well, one is completely falling apart. 2 of them are falling apart.
Okay.
So we're talking about 3.
How many are there total?
Yeah.
How many are there total?
It's 6. I think there are 6 altogether.
Yeah.
So one definitely gone. Second one, mostly the way. The third one on its way.
So you want 3 replaced in the large dog park, small dog park? Any issues with your furniture there? You don't need any replacement?
No, I don't think any problem there yet.
We just want to get 6 chairs though, because I mean, how soon are those other ones gonna be on the way out?
Yeah, well, we want to get 3 more,
Yeah, okay.
and then 2 of them hopefully can be repaired. So we have our back. We were originally supposed to have 8. We had 8. Now we're
How
basically
many
down
does
to
this small dog park have?
4.5.
So let me find out how many chairs we have on both sides.
Yeah, because I don't want to throw 8 or 10 chairs in the large dog park, and then the small has 4. Yeah.
Yeah, and I hate to just replace 3 and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
2 months later.
That's why I said, have somebody take a look at this.
So, so,
Yeah, we might have 4.
okay. let's just-
So.
They've
let's
already
get a
been
quote
repaired
on
once,
What
Dan.
they even cost?
I'd also say maybe get a price on Hollywood, like Trex chairs.
I think that's what these are. I don't know if they're wood or not.
They shouldn't be falling apart if they're that. though.
Well, you're, the sections of
Actually,
plastic.
it's
on it,
the-
Right?
The nails that come out.
The screws, yeah.
Screws and nails, so the boards, whether they're plastic or what, I can't remember, they just like come off.
And then you got two where the legs just,
So,
Definitely not wood chairs though.
Yeah,
so if you want to just motion for a vote to, recommend a quote to replace the large
yeah,
and the
for
small.
the quote, definitely, yeah.
So
So,
if you want to do that, we can do that.
let's see, so I'll make a motion to get a quote for potentially replacing the chairs in the big dog park and potentially the small dog park.
and bring the quota back up to 8 the way it's supposed to. Because you don't want to just fix, you don't want to stay at 6. 6 is really not enough.
We're gonna see, I think we need to see how many the small has as well.
Yeah.
And then make sure that it's even on both.
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
Second.
all in favor?
Second, I second it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, perfect. So we'll do that. Get a quote, get that started. So maybe next month we'll be spending some money. It's just-
Need a fundraiser.
Yeah.
Update from Brian, I'm just reading his text.
Cool.
So, let's see. It looks like all the gates that needed to be fixed have been fixed. Let's see, stuck valve on the drinking fountain has been fixed. Both sides of the park are being treated for weeds, as weeds have been very bad this season. We are waiting for an update estimate from Prince and Sons on the Seminole chips. The first proposal was from Exquisite, however, this area is currently being canceled by Prince and Sons. And that's the only update I have on that.
Okay.
What was the question you
On
wanted
this
to ask?
question, I think that you may have just answered part of it.
Within the last 2 weeks, quite a few dogs, including ours, including mine,
Yep.
have had red paws. And I was going to ask if anything had been put down, but now I know something's been put down. And
Yeah.
what?
Are we using like Roundup to get rid of those?
Because if we are, that's just against the law we've talked about in the past.
I've heard from more than just him. I've heard from people saying they're getting like hives on dogs, really red,
Hot
irritated
spots, yeah.
paws and things like that. So I'm wondering if it's the weed killer that they're putting in there. So if we could ask him what they're specifically using.
I know they use Roundup when they close down the park. Are we saying this is happening like right after they spray? Like, are they not letting it dry fast?
This is recent, so if
This is the last 2 weeks.
they're
Last 2
using
weeks.
that more or something new, because he specifically mentioned that the weeds are being a problem. So if they're using something, new or using more of it, it's causing irritation on the dogs and we don't want any reactions from any dogs.
Plus, we determined long ago that was not acceptable to use that.
Yeah, Roundup is really bad. too.
That was when we were closing the park that whole day, and then we decided to go from 10 to 3 now. Are we?
Yeah, this goes back to when Nikki was here, when I was chairman. We got a list of all the chemicals. We found out that 80% of them were not recommended to be put down for animals or humans. And Roundup was the number one.
Oh, yeah, Roundup is.
Usually there's a period where you're really not supposed to go on it, or is that being upheld? As
Well,
far
we
as,
close from 10 we close till 2 PM on Tuesdays. So there's a period where it can absorb, but the ground
Yeah,
here,
it's not.
it
Just sit on top.
just sits on the top. I mean, we're just coming off of months and months and months of it being 90 degrees. So that ground is like, concrete.
And the thing that scares me is it gets on their paws and they lick it and it's cancerous.
Of course.
I mean, it's been proven that it's cancerous.
I'm sure a simple Google search will tell us a pet-friendly weed killer.
You want that just to be the motion to specifically use a pet
Yeah.
friendly weed?
Potentially here. If we can get a response from him.
Sorry, I just texted him about that.
We can come back then. 'Cause it might take a minute. Do you want to do the incident report while he responds to that?
Yeah, we can do that, yes. So September 11th, this attack occurred in a large dog park. It was between a large dog and a small dog. The first, I do have pictures. This dog did have to go to the emergency room. I contacted all three. There's Joy, who's the one that got attacked, allegedly got attacked, her witness, and then Phoenix is the dog that allegedly attacked. So, you want to,
You said you had pictures too?
yeah, I'll let you read that and then.
Yeah, so Joy, 35 pounds, Phoenix. In the large dog park. All right, first one is, this is from Joy's owner.
Mhm.
Okay, so on Monday, September 11th, 2023, at approximately 7 a.m., I entered the small dog park with my dog. And then around 7:15 a.m., we entered the large dog since her friend Minnie arrived. Minnie and Joy were the only two dogs in the park until Phoenix arrived at 7:30. Joy went over to the gate area wagging her tail as Phoenix came in. Phoenix walked by and peed. Maybe 5 minutes later, Joy started running and Phoenix started chasing her. What I at first thought was playing. Joy let out a whine near the fence area parking lot side as they were running. And then seconds later, a bigger hurt whimper and she stopped by the gravel tree island area. She then came to me. I inspected her and saw blood in several areas around her tail and on her tail. Karen,
Oh, sorry.
sorry.
Oh, you good? I missed that.
Minnie's owner also saw, and then Phoenix owner came over, saw, said sorry, and left quickly. I took Joy to the hose area to rinse off the blood, and I then realized how severe the bites were. I took her home, cleaned the open wounds with soap, antibacterial soap, called her local vet, and they recommended Osceola Animal Emergency. I'm gonna skip the rest. I thought maybe that part.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Minnie's owner was at the park with her dog Minnie and said she would write a statement if needed. Talking with the other dog park visitors, they say Phoenix is a crazy dog, quote unquote. When I looked up the breed name, I'm not sure what that says. I read that they are not common in North America. They have a high prey drive. They might perceive smaller animals as prey. Although Joy and Phoenix are roughly the same size, I believe Phoenix was in hunt mode as Joy was running. I have pictures of Joy's wounds and receipts from the animal emergency. This next one is from Minnie's owner, looks like. Joy's witness. Okay. Good afternoon. I am responding to your voicemail for the incident in the large dog park on September 11th. I was there with our dog and we saw Phoenix and Joy running near the parking lot fence. Joy yelped as Phoenix caught her tail, got away, and ran to the middle of the dog park by the stones, caught her tail again, and she again yelped. Joy's owner ran towards Joy and grabbed her, and we both saw blood at the base of her tail and on her tail. Phoenix owners left with him almost right away after the incident. Please don't hesitate to let me know if there's anything else you need. I'm on a cruise, but we'll have access to the internet.
Oh, Phoenix is the.
This is, Phoenix's owner. First email says, attacked? No. They were playing? Yes. She got him to chase her and he nipped at her tail while she was ahead of her. There was no attack as they both stopped and did nothing more. There's another response here that says, one other thing, they walked back together and initially Joy's mom thought she had tripped in the newly laid sod when we heard Joy yelp. These two have known each other for well over a year and there was no aggressive behavior from Phoenix. If there had been aggression, would they have walked back to us together? No. There would have been more aggression. It was normal play that ended in a nip tug on Joy's tail. And the third one states, there is one other thing. I did not notice blood on Phoenix's neck until I got home. We left immediately after Joy and Phoenix stopped running. Here is a wound he incurred that day. As you can see, it is healing. We all know that there are inherent risks whenever dogs play, but we can't wrap our fur babies in bubble wrap. But obviously his interaction with Joy was incidental and both have incurred injuries from their play. I, though, understand and hence didn't even think of an incident report because there was no aggression on either party since it occurred during play. I also just cleaned Phoenix up and let the wound heal. Thanks for letting me say my piece.
Okay, so,
Pictures to follow.
okay, this is Phoenix. And this is George Joyce. You can pass it on. So again, both, there's like 4 pages of George Joyce wounds.
This is,
That's George Joyce.
oh, okay, that's another picture there. I'll just start by saying that I've had personal experience with Phoenix, fortunately. I can't say, I mean, have you seen the camera?
This cat did not catch anything. Didn't catch anything.
Okay.
So,
I think it's very clear from those photos which dog got bit and which didn't. One is still bleeding in those photos and the other one looks like it's about 2 months old. So,
you've heard, this is the first time I heard this name. Was
Okay.
there ever incident that you saw anybody here that it attacked another dog? Because I
yeah,
have not gotten
yes,
any
he
reports.
bit
about
my
this.
dog. So,
Okay.
bit my dog when he was about 6 months old on the face. And so consequently, my dog has not liked this dog since then. But we just avoided.
Minor incidents with him, where he has always been the aggressor.
So they typically don't go in the small dog park. Phoenix does not because of the way that Phoenix is with the smaller dogs. They will come straight to the big dog park. So for about 6 months, I know I had issues where he would try to come in the dog park, big dog side, I would be there with my dog and he would then go to the small dog. But as soon as I left, he'd go back to the large dog park because I think that they were having incidents with the smaller dog parks. One of the statements is in here that, you know, the dog tends to have, they do have a higher, it's like it's a rat dog, like they're designed to hunt smaller prey. So yeah, they can have prey drives and it's not controlled by the owner, I can tell you that. And he does pretty consistently think that there's, you know, it's playing, as he said.
Plus, when you look at those pictures,
I think the picture.
Joey was ripped.
Yeah,
It wasn't
that was not play.
play bite. He was ripped.
This kind of
That
bleeds
other-
in.
That other photo almost seems like a legacy. That's just,
That it looks over a month old, you know,
it looks.
I
like
mean-
it kind of doesn't look.
you agree? Yeah. So I think it's very clear which dog got bit. This kind of bleeds into something else that I want to talk about today, but as far as this goes, I definitely think that there should be we have to do something, you know, I mean, Phoenix's owner at least needs to realize that this was not play. And this is a bite, you know, and yes, he is correct that incidents happen. And yes, there's inherent risk to going to a dog park, absolutely, but that this can't continue, this can't happen again. I mean,
Yeah, you could have the sweetest dog in the world that every once in a while gets pushed the wrong way. It's going to retaliate. That's fine.
Yeah.
But there is quite a history of rescuing the people who see it around this table.
Have you,
No,
dealt?
so the only other thing I would say is, you know, his argument to this of, you know, would they have walked back to us together? No, there would have been more aggression. That's not necessarily true. They're not people. That's not how dogs work. You know, there can be a fight between two dogs over a possession of something and 30 seconds later they're playing again. They don't. It's not how
I mean,
dogs
that's not,
work.
those photos don't, that indicate.
Yeah, I think the photos
I mean,
are, if we didn't have the photos, I could say this might be a little he said,
Yeah.
she said type thing. But the photos, they show it all right there. I mean, one dog got bit several times, it looks like.
That's pretty bad.
And the other dog, unfortunately, I think is trying to say, well, also my dog got bit, but It doesn't. I thought,
Also, how relevant is it that two small dogs were in the large
well,
dog?
that's what I was saying about what's gonna lead into the next conversation.
What about, so we have the photos of what happened to Joy. What about Phoenix? Do we say Joy bit Phoenix? Are we saying that she
That
has to
doesn't
be
look like
punished
a
too?
That does not look like.
It's a mute, first, it's a mute point. It could be a defensive thing. It does, that looks like an old wound.
It does to me, but
It's not bleeding. It's not even raw. I mean, there's fresh skin over it. So
I mean, those photos were, I assume, taken almost at the same time.
this happened on 9/11.
Yeah, that's not, so the report, the actual report, which says on there, it received
Should say the date
on the
email.
13th, September 13th.
Well, that's,
And that-
Phoenix wound did not heal that much in 2 days.
It's been 10 days. These emails were sent on the 22nd.
Yeah.
And the 23rd, it looks like, from Phoenix's owner. So, and when did we receive JoJo's pictures?
That right up on the 13th, I believe it's like either 13th or 14th. It was right after.
Yeah.
Well, and based on the story, it's like bite marks around the tail. It was trying to get away. Like it wasn't trying to engage, it was trying to get away, right?
I think if you look at it from a perspective of guilt, okay, so we have an incident report on the 13th, 2 days after it happens, right? She gets everything settled with her dog. You know, okay, now I'm gonna write this report. She's calmed down. 2 days is reasonable. Okay, so she gets these 2 days and she gets you pictures right away. We have a witness. Now we have a response 10 days later because of guilt.
Mhm.
We have this is a defense right here. This is, I didn't do anything wrong. And I'm gonna send 3 different emails to demonstrate that because I keep thinking of things that may defend my position. This is a story of what happened. This to me is an admission of guilt. It's coming 11 days later. You know, and it's a well, they were just playing. It's 3 emails that say the same thing. You know, as if I'm looking at it from stepping back and saying, who's doing what, who's doing what. One person has a story of it, which another person completely corroborates, and another person responded 11 days later when they realized that their dog did something
With
wrong.
nothing but defense.
With nothing but defense.
Well, then just
Yeah.
even removing the history that you kind of have with
Yeah,
them,
absolutely,
it
yeah.
doesn't, it's still the same story. I mean.
Yeah. Listen, when it happened with me, Phoenix is a smaller dog, who's, 35 pounds. He bit a German Shepherd in the big dog park. And my dog did not do anything, thank God. And so I left it alone, It happens. I did not do a report. But if it happens again and again and again, and we have a person saying, we have witnesses, where's Phoenix's owner's witness? There's no one to corroborate his side. She clearly has the evidence on her side.
Plus, I know Mimi's owner, and she's very,
Yeah,
very, very
yeah.
nice woman.
So,
What Joy's owner is asking for, she or he, I don't know. She would like that just Phoenix be forbidden to keep going there, or she would like that this committee involved to try that Phoenix owner pay for their bills in the vet.
So I already discussed that with her. That's a civil suit she has to deal with. She had to go to the court for that.
Yeah.
What our job is to decide what do we want to do with the case.
I think that, yes, that was her intention initially, but also this is here, to be on paper and to have an incident report on him so that if it does ever happen, with another dog, we can say with certainty, that future issues, need to be taken care of. But as far as moving forward with this, I think we have.
So it's not our task to try to put Phoenix owner to pay something.
No,
okay?
no, no.
Okay.
No,
You can't.
yeah, it's a civil thing. They have to go
Okay.
over and above us.
But we can certainly say suspensions, recommend training, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what we.
Which is
decide now.
also a defense on our side, because if we don't do something and it happens again, we could be liable.
But,
Yeah,
certainly
yeah.
Joy's owner could come back and say, I told you about this. I showed you pictures of what happened. It happened again to another dog. And, why haven't you done anything? So,
And our scope is limited. As long as we do something within our scope,
yeah,
Uh-huh.
we're
exactly.
covered legally.
Well, I guess that's my next question is What do you think? What do you think we should do?
I think she gotta be, I think it's 30 days
What's your
at least.
recommendation?
Well, so I'm gonna take my recommendation for Phoenix. However, are we looking at Joy's, let's say she did buy Phoenix. Are we looking at Joy, I don't know if it's a girl, I think it's a girl, whatever, Joy, do we think if Phoenix did get bit, was that a defense? Like, are we saying that by, we should just be like, listen, I'm sorry, your dog bit?
You take out her story, you take out his story, and you look at the witness that is a third
Mhm.
party here, it's very clear that if there was even a bite from Joy, it was a defensive bite. And that picture does not indicate to me that that dog was bit that day.
And the biting of the tail, I mean, I imagine if Joy trying to get away and the bites just keep happening.
Sure,
like,
yeah. I mean, one looks like, if it is from Joy, a play bite, an actual play bite, and the other photos,
That's just.
you're still bleeding. I mean,
And it's ripped. It's not just
ripped
tore, it's
in
ripped.
multiple places.
My recommendation, management recommendation, since we have the pictures and it looks like she did get attacked. This isn't the first time he's done this. I haven't gotten any paperwork saying it, but
Sure.
that's why I'm
That's fair.
going to call for 60-day suspension.
Okay.
This will be on this record. So I made a little cheat sheet saying, okay, this dog attacked this dog on this date. So if we have any issues with Phoenix again, it will go to the next step. But I think I could send it to you. I don't have it with me, but yeah.
Just thinking, what is first offense?
For first offense is 30 days.
30 days.
So let's say we looked at Joyce and said, okay, well, she bit him first, 30 days.
Yeah.
But with what I'm hearing in the statement, Phoenix had some issues before. Again, I'm going by witness statement. I have not any kind of paperwork, any history with this dog.
And that's why I do want to be fair with it and say, this is the first on paper. I'm not saying a suspension isn't in order, but maybe 30 days.
Okay.
And
I
a written recommendation.
It's only because of just what Taylor said.
It's the first thing on paper.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first
Okay.
official.
Yeah.
Right.
So 30 days, and I guarantee you he'll be back.
Yeah.
Well, the rules are if you, let's say I said your dog did something and
Yeah.
I'm going to suspend you, you can do like a, rebuttal, you
An appeal.
appeal, yeah.
Yeah.
So we can go back and you can contact me and we'll all get together and
Sure, and you can do that if you'd like, and we can get, I don't know how it is with getting all parties involved to have a chat about it. We're happy to do that, but this is on paper, the pictures are there. And maybe he hasn't seen those. By all accounts, in both, witness and first party, he booked it. So he may not even know to the extent of how Phoenix harmed the other dog.
Mhm.
He may think that it's a little nick, but here we are with multiple cuts
Yeah.
that are pretty big.
Good point. I know that Joy's owner wanted to be at this meeting. They reached out to me directly and
Oh, okay.
said they couldn't be here,
Sure.
so that's why they sent more statements like they did.
Fair, yeah. Okay.
So I'll make a motion that we suspend Phoenix for 30 days with whatever you do, however you follow up on that.
I would amend that motion with written recommendation of behavioral training for Phoenix as well. To his owner.
Maybe not in this, not in this situation, but you can recommend training? Can you require training
that is,
on like a third offense?
so I know that's in the rules, but every time I try to bring that up about the training, it's like, well, because we were gonna bring them to Melania and then that's kind of like our partner
No,
program, am I
no.
telling them to go to Melania?
You can go to
That's-
what you want then, but
Yeah.
it would be
Show
certified
proof.
and
Yeah.
it would be certified,
Yeah.
just something legal.
Yeah.
And if they try to fudge it and make it unofficial, it doesn't
Certainly
happen
for
again.
a second or third offense, I
Yeah.
think that's something we should look at, but in this scenario, I just think a written recommendation, say, hey, there's nothing wrong with recommending it
Yeah.
and then recommending Melania because she's right here.
Yeah.
And just saying, hey, I think that he would benefit from some behavioral training. You might further understand the difference between play and not play with your person.
Now, after the 60-day one, I think we could demand it.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Well, 60 day, I think that's it. That's a third defense like that.
Yeah, that's fair. So if you wanna,
I'll accept this, my motion as amended.
then I second. All in favor? Good, cool. So.
Oh, sorry.
Alright.
I hand-
Go
Sorry,
on.
like I said, I'm just dropping everything. Okay, he texted back, spraying in the morning on Tuesday morning. Dries up 2 hours and it's Roundup. So it is Roundup.
Okay. So we definitely want to stop using that.
Danny, I don't know if you affected the recording when you dropped your phone.
No, I'm still recording.
Okay, good.
It's just saying, go find out what TV is.
Thank you.
Maybe you need to check into some old records or talk to Natalie, but Roundup was absolutely put off for any use in that dog park.
Yeah, so is that a motion that we can make right now to, is that a recommendation? that we have to go through? Can we just really?
When I recall about the Roundup, that's why we shut down the park for that one day.
Yeah.
For them to use Roundup and it gave it enough time to dry. Are we saying that it's not, they're not giving enough time to dry? Like if they use Roundup, are we okay with 10
We're
AM
saying
to 3 PM?
that there is legal proof that Roundup is not safe for either humans or pets, so we don't use it at all
So you don't want to, okay.
For the dog.
for the dog park. I don't care what else they use.
I mean, if we're gonna talk about anything, if they need proof of it, there's websites like consumernotice.org. They're gonna tell you that Roundup should be kept off pets' grass for 48 hours before animals are allowed back on that after application, so. And it's just not good for dogs. It's very toxic to them.
What would you like to motion to a recommendation?
So it would be a recommendation?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, so I think that we should make a motion to recommend that we immediately remove the use of Roundup in the dog parks and research a pet-friendly alternative.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, we can deal with some weeds
It's okay for dandelion in the
for,
park for a
for,
week.
for a bit there.
Yep.
I mean.
Are they okay to just go with if they find a pet friendly one, can they just start with that?
I think that they can start on that as long as it's marked pet-friendly, but we would like to know.
Yeah,
what it is.
we'd like to see proof here.
Yes. Yeah, but they can use it, right away, but, if we can also get the literature on it saying that it is pet safe.
You have a motion, Paul seconded?
Yeah, we're good. Okay. So other than that, leading in, from this incident report, it just kind of bleeds into what I wanted to talk about anyways today, which, does have to do with the rules and regulations, so it works out. So I wanted to talk about, and I know you wanted to talk about this. Small dogs in the big dog park. We have an incident between two dogs that are 35 pounds in the large dog park. Why? Why are both of them in the large dog park with a 180-pound Great Dane? Now, I'm not saying that the Great Dane did anything, of course, didn't, but I think that we are personally asking for disaster when it comes to letting 35-pound dogs in a dog park with very large dogs. I think that we should look at the rules and maybe say, listen, if your dog is 35 pounds, you need to be in the small dog park. This whole, at your own risk thing, people aren't realizing that it's at their own risk, I feel like. They're coming in and expecting this large dog to play well with something that it looks like dinner to them. I mean, some of these dogs, and they say it well in that incident report, some dogs have very high prey drives. And if you bring in a very small dog that then books it to the other end of the park, that dog may just take off. And that's not something that you came into the large dog park with your large dog, knowing that shouldn't happen because I'm in here with other 100-pound animals and my dog feels totally at home, it's fine, you know.
Yeah,
I don't worry about
under the
that.
current rules, if Phoenix were a dog over 35 pounds, we'd have to look at this differently. Because the lighter dog is not supposed to be in there unless you come at your own risk.
So the problem with this that I foresee and don't really have 100% solution on is how do you do it and what's the weight? Because if I take a dog that has a breed standard of 35 pounds, but then my dog is 15 pounds overweight because I feed them bacon every day, are they allowed to go into the big dog park? So do we do it by breed standard or do we do it by what the actual weight of your dog is?
Currently, it's the weight.
It's the weight of your
It's the
dog.
weight. It's the weight of the
Could
dog.
we do something that is more breed standard?
What do you do with the breed if it's a mix? It's a mixture.
Well, every dog has a prominent breed, you know. When you look at a dog, you know what it is for the most part. People don't come up to my German Shepherd and say, does he have chow in him because he has a black tongue? So
I almost think you had to go by weight because of that.
The problem is like.
the problem is exactly what I just said.
I
You have
know.
dogs that weigh 50 pounds that should weigh 35.
But that's going to be the exception versus the rule. The rule, you're gonna have to go by the breed. One thing I think, I agree totally 100% of what he's saying, but I think maybe we can take it a step further. And when you bring your paperwork over here and it says that your dog weighed 33 pounds, you only get access to the small dog park.
And I think what is happening is everyone knows what a big and a small dog
Yeah.
is, but they're going to the dog park to socialize when really you're supposed to be going there to exercise your dog. So people want to go and hang out with their friends. And like, I get it, but like, it's the dog park and, you're there to be with your
It's not
dog.
the park.
And that's where you're getting into like, because people will get offended because they want to go hang out with their friends. And I get it, but like, is it the place? It can be, but your dogs, at the end of the day, it only takes, one or two, really one really bad situation. What if the Great Dane was the aggressor in this incident and, killed another little dog because it shouldn't have been there? Then it would be, everyone in here would be, we gotta, make sure this doesn't happen again. And, and it's like, that only needs to happen once and it's just like.
I feel like we're asking for that
Yeah.
by having very small. There are some really small. We're talking 35 pounds. There's 10-pound dogs that go into the large dog park.
So I have a question, and I'm not playing devil's advocate. My dog is 32 to 34 pounds.
Sure.
But my dog goes into the small dog park, it will be the equivalent of a Great Dane and a poodle, a toy poodle, because
Yeah.
my dog plays it very aggressively and likes the rough play with the
Yeah.
bigger dogs.
And so that's the problem we're running into. We have plenty of people that come in with their smaller dogs and say, plays better with the big dogs. Okay, great. That's fine. But what happens when that smaller dog gets injured? So the problem with it and like I said, that's why I don't really have a 100% solution for this is we say at your own risk for the small dog parks, but thus far it hasn't been. We've had incidents where the large dog hurts the small dog or the other way around, and we're looking at it as an equal footing for what happened when our rules tell us that we shouldn't be. We should be looking at the small dog owner and say, why were you in there?
But the other thing is if you go by breed.
Yeah.
Then you say, I got a puppy,
Yes,
but it's going to be 50 pounds eventually,
absolutely. So when it's 50 pounds, we'll see in the big dog park.
but not if you go by breed.
Sure, a lab at 4 months old can go in the small dog park. When it's 8 months old, it's in the big dog
And
park.
that's where it's common.
Unfortunately, it's common sense, which is going to be that common,
Right.
but
Are we,
And I was under the impression that puppies to a degree weren't even allowed in the park.
well, you shouldn't be bringing a puppy in so in Florida, you can take a dog home at 8 weeks, which is insane. And they don't even have all of their vaccines. So you definitely shouldn't be bringing a puppy in, no matter what the breed is, until it's fully vaccinated, which is 12 weeks. So we shouldn't even be seeing dogs until 3 months old. And if it's a big dog, at 3 months old, it's gonna be about 30 pounds.
And
If it's 100-pound standard on the dog, it'll be about 30 pounds in 3 months.
And are you kind of setting the big dogs up for failure? Because let's say there is an incident between a big dog and a small dog, it's just like,
That's my fear, yeah.
you know,
Well, let's see, like with my dog, I know that. If a big dog comes in, my dog.
Yeah.
Okay, my dog was a little one and he shouldn't be in there, so.
but
that's
you have
fine.
common sense, so.
I know, and we're trying, you gotta do it for the
And, you know,
dogs, right?
especially some of the incidents that I've seen, I'm not even talking about dogs attacking other dogs. I'm talking about a Great Dane stepping on a 15-pound dog.
Or accidentally.
Falling down. You know, we see dogs tumble over each other. They're having a great time, but there's a 20-pound dog in the middle of all that and it's getting squished. I'm worried about that too. Like, it's not even just aggressive dogs.
No, I
It's-
mean, you're
it's the
right.
whole
I mean,
thing.
I can't remember her name, but, the Greyhound, Greyhound, super quick,
Oh,
really string beat, but,
Lady,
lady,
Lady, I
the
think,
big
yeah.
dogs will play and, she'll be zooming around and one of, Apollo or something is, but hits her, I mean, she's going down and, there's been,
Up to full speed.
there was times where, she had, she yelps and, they take her home and she's a big dog,
Yep.
but, I mean,
Yeah.
they throw that weight around. I mean, you get a little dog somewhere in that mix, just stepping on them or when they're running around.
10-pound dog, I couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there are legitimately 10, 15-pound dogs in the large dog park.
That's.
And then we have everything up to almost 200 pounds in there. So,
What, so I'm thinking about what they do in theme parks. What if we do height? Like, what is a big dog? Is it a height?
so that would,
Can we look at?
honestly, that goes back to breed standard though, because you're gonna have breed standards of, for instance, a German Shepherd is 26 to 29 inches to the shoulder. That's the breed standard for a male German Shepherd. So are we gonna go by, if we're going by height, then we have to go by the prominent breed within the dog, if it's a mutt. And then, people aren't gonna measure their dogs,
No,
but they know how much their dogs weigh. You don't know how tall your dog is, but you know how much it weighs.
English Bulldog is big or small?
English Bulldog is big, yeah.
Big.
Well,
And French Bulldog,
yeah, so French Bulldog is much smaller.
small?
Yeah.
Go to the small area.
Yeah, so English Bulldogs, they're, 50, 55
Okay.
pounds. And then the American Bulldog is even bigger. So,
so if we go by weight. We can say, okay, this is a new dog, you weigh this much, so you're only allowed in this park.
yeah,
But if we do breed,
you were gonna
I'm
say
just,
something about that, maybe? No, okay.
but if we do by breed, I just think there's so many breeds.
Yep.
And I think it's just gonna be confusing trying to find, okay, what breed are you? Okay, you're mixed, okay, what?
Okay.
So,
So we could go back through, everyone fills out paperwork when they want to go to the dog park, right? And they have to put the weight of their dog and the breed of their dog, right? And we can say, okay, you put down 40 pounds for your dog. So you're allowed in the big dog park. You put down 20 pounds for your dog because it's a Shiba Inu. So you cannot go in the big dog park for your own safety.
See, but we're running into a weird situation where we're like, yeah, but little dogs can come into the big dog park, but if someone took their Great Dane in the little dog park, no, you can't do, everyone, but you can't do that.
well, that's percent, and that's a conversation.
But how is it any different than the little dog? I mean, just there's more,
And that's the point. It's, I could never take my dog in a small dog.
Yeah.
Ever. They would, every single owner in there would lose their minds the second that I walked in.
That's true.
They would say, what are you doing? But if anyone in the large dog park ever said, why are you bringing that small dog park in here?
I
And they
never
decide-
have.
And what is their response? Well, he plays bigger with he plays better with the big dogs.
He gets better along, right?
Right.
He can't get along with the
He
little.
doesn't get along with the little dogs. Great. So we have Milani, you should go get some training done and figure out why he doesn't get along with little dogs.
so let's say we don't change it, let's say we keep it the same. How can I get dog owners? I'm a dog owner, but my dog stays at home. But how can I get dog owners to know you have to watch your dog?
Well,
And these
these workshops.
That's what I'm hoping too. Let's say I didn't go to the workshop. How can we let the people know, guys, you have to watch your dog?
If you
Stop.
don't actively seek out that information as a dog owner, I feel like the only way you learn is when something happens to your dog. Or something traumatic happens at least right in front of you. And you say,
Well, and the
Yeah.
problem is people take it personally, like,
Yes.
it's not personal, it's,
Right.
just, it's,
Yeah.
stuff happens, but,
Because we're all neighbors here.
right.
right,
So it just takes, and I think that's why a lot of times they don't fill out an incident report, but I need an incident report because
definitely, yeah.
stuff like, we could have prevented this if this
Right.
had happened before.
So I think the workshop is a great first step in that. Because that's definitely my number one priority with the park is making sure it has everything it needs, obviously, the dogs are safe. And then owner awareness on dogs and their personal behaviors. Because dog parks are a great idea on paper, they turn into every month we're looking at things like this. And this is not the dog's fault, this is the owner's. So. Yeah,
They have to still come up with a dogmatic stopgap.
So. I think that, you could do just a blanket like big dog, small dog, if you don't want to do it specifically. And see where that gets us.
I think you should say, no dogs under 30, no dogs under 35 pounds there. No dogs over 35 pounds there. That's it.
Yeah.
And then we can always elaborate, do better, whatever, but we gotta have a stopgap.
Yeah, we at least have to see where that gets us over the next couple months and see if that limits the amount of small dogs that we even get in the big dog park. People might not even listen. So they're gonna say, well,
Well, yeah, because
I'm fine. I've never had an incident, so therefore I'm fine.
Yeah.
I
I think there's some things we have to update in the rules.
Yeah. No parties.
We could do, we could think of maybe
Birthday parties.
that was,
Well, apparently it needs to be a rule.
It has to be a rule again, or it has to be a rule addressed, but
Thank you.
so we can discuss this months ahead, that maybe if there's rules that we can start to think about, maybe new rules.
Yeah.
A recommendation to the board about it.
Yep. Just get it written down.
Yeah, we'll pick another meeting and we'll start drawing some ideas. Real quick about, I had a resident ask this rule, Paul, you've been on the dog park committee for a while. When the dog park committee, the first round, made the rules up and they allowed, this might be a Leslie question, but they allowed small with large dogs. Was there ever a rule that says, if my big dog is in the dog park, you bring your little dog. I don't like your little dog. Can you leave? Can I tell you to leave or no?
Anybody can tell anybody to leave.
But do they have to?
No,
That's what I want to make sure.
but there was whether it was written originally back way before even I moved to here,
Mhm.
in the fact that you are there at your own risk.
Yeah, and if,
So it is no, and that would hold up in court. I mean, that's a liability issue, so.
because it's a public amenity at the end of the day. And you're not there against your will, so if you come in and you don't want me there, you can leave too. So no one's making you stay, so you can't
So-
force anybody out.
Again, just to be annoying, so then you could take your big dog in the small dog park,
Technically,
cause I'm.
Well,
No, that was also part of the rule.
the
No,
rules
it's not.
specifically say no large dogs.
No, yeah, it's just, that's why I thought it was kind of crazy when I joined this. and I
It
was
was
like,
no dogs over 35 in the small dog
Yeah.
park. Any dog
Under.
under 35 comes in your own risk.
That's what it is now.
So,
Yes,
that's what it
that
is
is what it is now.
Exactly is now.
That's what-
now.
Apparently not. So,
But Dan, it goes back to how many times I've seen people walk in on somebody else's car and I tell them to leave. I mean, it's a matter of push and shove. I've been lucky they left, but how can I make them not leave? Either get in a fight with them or,
Well, yeah, no one should.
I mean, theoretically, they're trespassing.
Oh, yeah, no. Listen, I've been a park monitor. I'm constantly checking IDs and telling people to leave. If you don't have an ID, this is private property. People don't understand this. This is private property. Even though you say you live here, you do not have a Crow ID. This is Crow's property. You're supposed to leave. Dog parks the same way. I just wanted to get clarification because I've been getting emails about, they're not supposed to be here, but in the rules it says large and small. That's why I just want to clarify that. Okay, just want to clarify. One more rule that was asked about. Let's say my dog cannot be vaccinated because it would kill them,
okay,
according to a vet. Okay. And I have another dog, he can be vaccinated. I could bring him to the park, but if I put the dog who cannot be vaccinated, leave him in a dog stroller, is that allowed?
And come in the park.
I
It
think
has to be vaccinated.
that you can come into the dog park with a dog stroller.
You can't.
I think that's the equivalent of having a dog on a leash in an
I'll be
office,
like, and that's,
which is extremely dangerous for your dog. Because that dog stroller is that dog's territory. They are extremely territorial about those and you are asking for a fight. Because they feel threatened because they can't get out. So any dog that approaches those generally is very yippy and almost borderline aggressive because they can't run if they need to. So.
You can't even bring a
Can't
kid
bring
in
it.
there.
Yeah.
Oh, that is, yeah.
Question, so if a small dog comes to the big dog park and and something does happen between those two dogs, can the big dog owner be liable for anything? Cause even in a complaint,
Well, you talking about liable like
I mean,
with the police?
You can sue anybody,
So that.
Sure,
that's-
but it's going to definitely be in
this
their
room
favor.
Versus.
in this room,
They shouldn't be.
They shouldn't be, no.
they can't, there can be no. formal-
Actually, it would help their civil suit also, that our rule is that dog shouldn't have been there.
Even if the large dog was the aggressor, like, cause it's, they shouldn't have been
Shouldn't
there.
have been there.
Shouldn't
Okay, alright,
And
that's,
that goes back to what I was saying before, where you have a 100-pound dog that has a very high prey drive that isn't chasing other 100-pound dogs, because
Yeah.
that's not how that works. And then you introduce a 20-pound dog that looks an awful lot like a.
cause I don't think most people kind of realize that.
No.
I mean, they read the rules, but they're.
Now, they don't read the rules.
Well,
that's part of
they
the
skim
problem.
the rules, but they don't realize that.
That's the issue that I'm trying to resolve, is the at your own risk part. People aren't comprehending that. They're coming in with small dogs, things are happening to small dogs, and they're expecting results. That's like, no.
Do we need signage specifically at the gate of just this one rule?
Maybe.
I mean, you know, if you're not gonna read it, but if you're opening
Yeah.
that gate, you have to see that sign.
I agree that I think the first step is to just say,
Dogmatically, 35 one side, less than 35 the other, period.
for a period of time, see if it helps. We can
That could be a
always-
recommendation, yeah, but that's a big change, so that would have to be a recommendation to the board.
Right, definitely, but we have other rules we want to update
We-
anyways, so
yeah.
we can do that, we can write it all down and then do a recommendation that way, yeah. So that'd be-
Again, though, but if people understand that if they bring their dog in there and that.
But how do you make them understand? It's kind
Yeah,
of.
you know, I know, because there's,
That's the question that you have,
because
how
when
do
you-
I get this through to? the
because
people?
when you sign, you know, you're gonna join the dog park or, you know, get the pets, like, if you read it or not, that, I guess it doesn't really
You're
matter. 'Cause you,
responsible for it.
'cause you
Yeah.
agreed to
It's like
it,
signing a
so.
lease and how
Yeah,
big-
exactly.
So you still signed it. Yeah, no, 100%.
So do you want a motion to put something in writing for the board for that?
No, not yet, this. I just wanted to bring stuff out because I know rules has been.
Yeah.
It's old rules and I'm just
Trying to.
I.
I'm having some issues with the small, and a lot of the dog parks has been small dog being attacked by big dogs, and
Yeah.
that's what my.
We have an ad hoc meeting, just to discuss those
Yes.
things.
I mean, we could also say. a
I think
workshop.
maybe we
could
need
also
to
do
do
a
that.
workshop.
We can also do it for email. I mean, you can write up
Yeah,
what you would like the new rules to look like and send it out to us, yeah.
Yeah.
we could do that. I also want it on camera too, so.
Or do a workshop and invite the community and let people come and say what they think too.
That would be good, yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Because
Like we're
then,
rewriting the rules. If you have an opinion, show up.
right, and then if they don't show up, they got no bitch.
Right.
Nothing to say, yeah.
Well, everyone always forgets that. They forget that part,
Yeah,
that's all.
yeah.
They forget that part.
You had a chance. That's fair.
That's a dog.
No, I.
Yeah, that's a good. idea.
You just know that people won't like to hear that it's a dog park and it's not necessarily your social hour, and like, it can be both, but ultimately. When the rules of the dog park conflict with, you know, those ideas, you know.
Yeah, and they're animals too. You can't control animals.
Right.
I mean, it's hard, but.
It's also, you
Are
know,
controlling the owners, that's.
it's also the dog park is a privilege and an amenity through this particular community. And if you don't like the rules of this dog park, there are public ones. Where you can take your wildly untrained dog to anytime you want, and
You
people
know,
do.
we forget, even as a committee, we got 1,350 dogs in this place. Not all of them are in the park, but we got 1,350 dogs. That's a lot considering the amount of people we have.
Yeah, sure. All right.
All right, 25%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have dogs, some of them multiple dogs.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
well, that doesn't count
I got
cats.
two, so I got one for whoever doesn't have a dog, you know. I'll make it up for them. Cool. Anything else from anyone else?
You were talking about the meeting.
Oh, yes.
Moving the meeting.
So since Because I don't know if you were here for that, but I was suggesting maybe having a meeting next month because December is kind of hard for a lot for us to have a meeting because usually we end up canceling anyway.
Got a calendar?
If, so November 11th and the 10th, I most definitely know. We got Founder's Day, so I won't be doing that. But let's see. Let's see. How's the 13th?
November 13th.
November
Is that a Tuesday?
That's a Tuesday. Yeah, I'm trying. Oh wait, I'm sorry. No, that's 14th. Sorry. 14th. Sorry.
14th?
Okay, let's get that one. Okay, the 7th.
If I'm the only.
Okay, let's do, what about the 21st? Let's do the 21st.
Yeah.
Gives us enough time to get everything prepared. So 21st.